Dear friends, namaskar to all of you. First, I must congratulate and express my appreciation for you for having gathered here to pay respect to that magnificent hero India produced in the last century when India itself was a slave and it was written in the hotels and the salons of Western countries that dogs and Indians will not be allowed. Riding on the Western platform, this man from India gave a message so boldly and for the first time declared valiantly that I am proud to call myself an Indian. The wonderful thing that we see in him as against a contrary or contradictory tendency in the society now, we frequently hear that elders are not satisfied with the youngsters. They constantly blame the youngsters, telling that youngsters are going to dogs. During our time, we were so obedient, we were so disciplined, we were so good, and the modern generation is going astray. Swami Vivekananda, following the ancient ideal of Vedic period, very boldly declared that my faith is not in the elders, but in the younger generation of India. In the modern generation, very frequently in most of these meetings, I have been asking this question: who manufactures alcoholic drinks and yet proudly declare that drinking is harmful to health? Youngsters or children? Who directs vulgar movies and at the same time give advice to the society, don't go and watch the vulgar movies in the TV or the movie theaters? Youngsters or children? Who is printing all the obscene magazines and publishing and selling it? At the same time constantly telling that don't read these things, this will spoil you. Is it youngsters or children? Who are doing it? Yes, please. And these elders are expecting model behavior from youngsters. Is it ever possible? Living in this world for the last 50 years with so much of experience and intelligence, elders, instead of showing the model, they are constantly expecting the yesterday's youngsters to show the way, which is a paradox or a tragedy of human life. And at the same time, they claim that youngsters are going astray, they are going to get ruined. It is in this context Swami Vivekananda becomes so important and so dear to all of you youngsters that it was he, the only one man, apart from the ancient Vedic rishis, who told, my faith is in the younger generation. They will solve the problems of India like lions. And immediately after his death, great lions rose in India: Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Veer Savarkar, Subhash Chandra Bose. And they set whole India ablaze with the thirst for freedom, and India became free. And after that, elders picked up the politics, and India is going to ruin again now. All over India, who is doing corruption? Youngsters, children? Dear friends, who is doing corruption? Yes. And who are fighting against this corruption? Elders? Arvind Kejriwal? Anna Hazare, though is an old man, he was inspired by Swami Vivekananda, who is the role model of youngsters. So it is the younger generation, the fire is still blazing forth, and Vivekananda wanted these youngsters to re-engineer the fate of India and design India so that India can become the world leader. In the arena of the world countries, India will become an Acharya, which was her post in the ancient times, the ancient period of Indian civilization. But the question is, youngsters, do you have that much faith in yourself? The respect, the value, the importance Swami Vivekananda gave to you as youngsters. Are you able to feel that you are so important? Do you feel your responsibility in shaping the destiny or engineering or restructuring the country of India? Unless you feel, it becomes very difficult to enter into the very subject itself. Because I will be talking to you about something of which you have no feeling at all. Suppose if you are interested in jazz music or disco music, and I talk to you something about Carnatic music, after 10 minutes or 5 minutes, one by one, all of you will be getting and going out. Already half the auditorium is out. It shows that 50% of the audience who came here, they are not much bothered about India, forgetting that India is not river Ganga or Yamuna. It is not Himalaya or Kanyakumari. It is not Gujarat or Bengal. It is you and me which makes India, is it not? If I am not interested in my life, even 33,000 crores of God cannot change my fate. This is a tragedy of Indian life, the Indian's life, that we talk so much, but when it comes to doing, we are nowhere on the scene. In the West, Swami Vivekananda was glorifying India so much. And as he came back to our own soil, Swami Vivekananda went on scolding the Indians. One of the Bengali newspaper wrote, Vivekananda beats the Indian society like a dog with his chappal, and Indian society is following him like dog. Swami Vivekananda Samaj ke judo marche, Samaj unar pishane kukure matan chute berache. What a beautiful comment, you see. What made the Indian society, which was hit with shoe by Swami Vivekananda, make him follow? It is the inherent love for India. Do you love India? If you don't love India, it means you don't love yourself. A man who has no self-esteem, no self-love, how can that man ever grow in his life? It is impossible. Demanding respect from others, demanding that others should love us, is one part of our life. But unless we love ourselves, unless we have self-esteem, Atma Sammanam or Atma Gauravam, what power in the world can lift us? Nothing in the world can do anything for us because we are unwilling to do that. There's a lovely story by Sri Ramakrishna, who was the guru of Swami Vivekananda. There was a Mantravadi in the village. Mantravadi. Are you able to hear the sound clearly? Because the sound service it is echoing and I couldn't hear clearly. The audibility was not clear. He was an exorcist. Exorcist means if somebody is possessed by a ghost, this man will chant some mantras, do certain rituals, and the ghost will leave possession of the man. So he was such a Mantravadi. So one day, one peculiar ghost has possessed a villager. They brought the man possessed by the ghost to the magician, the exorcist. And the exorcist went on trying all his methods and ultimately found that he was no match for the new ghost which has taken possession of this particular man. Leaving the patient in the house, he ran to his guru and he told, Guru, whatever knowledge you have taught me, I have applied every one of them, but not a single trick works against this particular ghost. Will you please come and tell me what is the matter wrong with my method? The guru accompanied the disciple and he told the disciple, now you do the process of exorcising the ghost out of this man. And this Mantravadi, the exorcist, his method was to take some pieces of mustard seed, கையில் குறைச்சி கடுகு எடுத்துக்கொண்டு ஒரு மந்திரம் പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഈ കടുക് അങ്ങനെ കളഞ്ഞു എരിയും പിശാച് പിടിച്ച ആളോട് മുകളിൽ. So as soon as these mustards will go and touch the patient by the power of the mantras infused into the mustard seed, the ghost will run away leaving the patient and the patient will be free. He did it thrice and all the times he failed. Guru patted him on the back and told, you are not quite observing what is happening in the situation. And the disciple Mantravadi asked the Guru, what is the secret? He told, secret is to observe exactly what is happening. disciple could not, and Guru told, this is a very, very tricky and clever and very intelligent, smart ghost. Whenever you take the mustard seed, the ghost leaves the patient and enters the mustard seed. And by the time you chant the mantras and throw the mustard seed on the patient, it goes and catches the patient and stays there. Again, when you take the mustard seed, it again comes back to the mustard seed, and by the time you throw it, it goes back to the patient and catches him. So the ghost is in the very mustard seed itself. And this is the problem of India. All of us who want to re-engineer or restructure the country, the ghost is inside us. Corruption is not in India, corruption is inside you, inside me. We are all in the verbal delusion created by the world, society, or the country. Country is getting ruined, country is going to dogs, country is getting spoiled. India is falling slowly. Not at all. One of the foreigners remarked very beautifully, India was great, India is great, but Indians are stupid. India was great, India is great, the magnificent Himalayas, the rolling Ganges, the fantastic Brahmaputra, God's own country, Kerala. And for getting this metro rail, how much of shouting and noise and hullabaloo we are creating, is it not? This is for the benefit of all of us. Just now we had the great metro man talk to us, and all of you must have gone through the great hassle that was being created for getting a metro train in Kerala, is it not? How much time it takes for us to set these good things in motion, to get a smart city in Kerala, to get the part of the golden quadrilateral roadways in Kerala. Oh, how difficult. And we are boasting we are 100% educated state. If ours is a 100% educated state, how much more shameful it is that we can't provide a toilet to a girl studying in the school, is it not? Is it not 100% shameful for us? Whereas states which are not having 100% education, they are able to achieve this, and we are not able to achieve this, and we are going to re-engineer our country. Where are the engineers? Where are the engineers? Long before, when Swami Vivekananda rode like a mighty colossus on the world scene, and he came back to London, someone asked him, Swamiji, you are so powerful, why don't you get freedom for India? I had written a lot of things about Swamiji, but I am not able to read out, because I don't know how many of you are really interested in this topic, because half the audience have gone already, telling that we are not interested in the restructuring or designing of India. But with a few, I don't know how many of you are going to get up after 10 or 15 minutes, because we are approaching the lunch time. Somehow they have put some fuel inside you, and some of the scooters they have taken off to getting fuel. Swamiji replied, getting freedom for India is quite easy. Tomorrow you can get freedom for India. Where are the men to rule free India? Look at the newspapers. People are behaving like beggars to become Prime Minister of India, is it not? Everyone has got a desire to become the Prime Minister of India, but how many of them deserve to become the Prime Minister of India? Agrahamunde, Kazhivu. Where is the deserving quality to become the Prime Minister? Never in the history of any other country we will find people hankering and begging to become the Prime Minister of India. To become the Prime Minister of India means to become the servant of India. But everybody wants to go there and boss. Is it not? We all want to become the boss of India, but the latest management theory, which has picked up this great secret from Swami Vivekananda, the servant manager leadership quality. That is what is required to become the Prime Minister of India. How many of these people have the ability to become the servant? This was very beautifully put by one of the President of the United States when he told, ask not what the country has done for you, ask what you have done for the country. Most of us are expecting something from the society, something from the country, how much we can take from the country. In Bombay, we used to say, Baap ka maal, government ka maal, bete ka damal. Baap ka maal means his father's achanoda property. Mohana anandikate. Onnu cheyadu, pani cheyadu, bharatatoda ella lavangalo anubhavikkanam. Endha achanoda property. Baap ka maal, bete ka damal. How it will work out if we want to re-engineer India, which is our own loving, beloved motherland? Because the feeling has become totally dried up. None of us are able to feel what for India, even for Kerala, how many of us are able to feel that Kerala is my country? Most of the time, I remark Kerala, God's own country. I hear the corresponding remark, devil's own people. We ourselves tell God's own country and devil's own people. If we think we are devils, how much more the others should think bad of us, is it not? Because it has become a fashion to degrade us. That is the sign that we have not come out of the slavish mentality. Physically, politically we are free. Psychologically we are still like the worms. Britishers treated us like worms, and we say, devil's own country, devil's own people. So the change or the psychological revolution, Antakranti, ഉള്ളിലെ ഒരു വിപ്ലവം ഇത് ഉണ്ടാകണമെങ്കിൽ വലിയ വലിയ വാക്കുകൾ സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. കർമ്മക്ഷേത്രത്തിൽ ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അവിടെ secret of life is action. This is the beauty of Gita. Action. Without action, destiny doesn't even start. Failure also never starts without action. Even to have failure in your life, you must have action. You must start working. Pravartikkanam. തോൽവി വേണമെങ്കിലും അജയം വേണമെങ്കിലും പ്രവർത്തിക്കണം, പണി ചെയ്യണം, കർമ്മം ചെയ്യണം. കർമ്മം ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ സഫലമല്ല, തോൽവിയും അജയവും നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാകാൻ സാധ്യമില്ലാതെ. We are so frightened to work, so frightened to act. It is impossible to get even defeat or failure. This was the condition when Swami Vivekananda appeared on the scene of India. Two options were left to him. One is to curse the elders, abuse them, accuse them, cursing them. This is what the elders have done. The present India is the result of what the elders have done in the last 50 years, is it not? We can't blame the youngsters. Youngsters are looking for a wonderful model. Hardly we get few models, and most of these good models are powerless. Worst models are the most powerful, and students without any self-respect or self-esteem blindly follow these people. The inability to refute, inability to stand on one's own leg, the inability to think for oneself, mukta chinta, സ്വതന്ത്ര ചിന്ത ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിവില്ലാത്ത കാരണമാണ് ആരോ ഏതോ പറഞ്ഞാലും കൂട്ടത്തോട് ഒന്നായിട്ട് ചേർന്ന് പോകും മനോഭാവം നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. Whether it is good or bad, follow the crowd, because there is security. Security is the sign that we are cowards. Vivekananda wanted heroes. Of all your mistakes, I can forgive every one of them, but one mistake I cannot forgive. Vivekananda told cowardice. പേടി ഒരിക്കലും ക്ഷമിക്കില്ല. ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളുടെ എല്ലാ കുറ്റങ്ങളെയും ഞാൻ ക്ഷമിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. പേടി. And it is because of fear all evils are spreading in our society. Fear is the cause of all evil. A man takes bribe because he is afraid not to take bribe. A man gives bribe because he is afraid if he doesn't give bribe, his work will not be done. What is wrong? Why not we get ready for dying without giving bribe? മൂല്യത്തോടെ മൂല്യം എന്താ? എൻ്റെ ജീവിതമാണ്. The value of values is my life. There was a wonderful man in the village of Bengal called Kamar Pukur. He was a man 100% truthful. So in the olden times, a man who was very truthful in the village was taken as the sakshi or the witness. His word will be like a Supreme Court judge's word. So one of the Jamindar who had done some corrupt act wanted the favor of this truthful man as a verdict that he has done the right thing. And he went and sought his advice and support. And this man, who was already poor man, told, I can never tell a lie. So though you may be a Jamindar, landlord, I cannot support you in this case because you are telling a lie. This man was driven out by the Jamindar. And the old man, the poor man, was not at all frightened. He told, I am ready to die. Without value, what is the value of my life? For the values, I am ready to give my life itself as value. That was the marvelous personality, Kshudiram, the great father of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. You see, what tremendous education is it not? What your engineering qualification, M.Tech and B.Tech could not perform. That ordinary man in village showed the way for India's engineering. The present problem of India is not the educational level at the academic field. Academic field, we are all getting educated. Most of our students are going to other countries. But we are so weak. We constantly tell that corruption cannot be curbed overnight. Is it not? This is one of the famous statement by one of the leading politicians of India. Corruption cannot be curbed overnight. Somebody brought this sentence to me and told, Swamiji, what is your response to this statement? I told, corruption need not be curbed overnight, but anti-corruption bill can be passed overnight. Is it not? How much time it takes to pass the anti-corruption bill? We can't. And we are trying to challenge Pakistan, China, America and other countries. The real strength of the country, Vivekananda says, is in the citizen's character. During our college days in English, we had a lovely poem. In the poem, we have two battalions fighting against each other. One of the king had a powerful fort, and none can get through that fort. And how they got inside the fort, and defeated the wonderful country, charge of the Light Brigade. That was the topic of the famous poem. Nothing could work out. The soldiers were so powerful. And the opposite spy told, sir, there is one simple thing that can be done to defeat the entire army and a powerful king. And the enemy king asked, what can be done? Give me 50 gold coins. He took the 50 gold coins, went to the gatekeeper of the fort and told, sir, this is our gift for you. Honored, sir, please accept it. Just open the gate. 50 gold coins. What is it? Worth to be thrown in the dustbin compared to the fate of the country, is it not? And that man opened the fort's gate and the enemy army entered and the powerful country fell down. Because of what? Just 50 gold coins. Is your value just 50 gold coins or few crores of rupees? And this is what is happening to our country through utter corruption, total despondency, degradation and a state of desperation. Who is going to fight against this? Sacrifice has been the law in the past. This is a famous dialogue of Vivekananda. Sacrifice has been the law in the past. Alas, it will be the law for the ages to come. The earth's bravest and boldest must sacrifice their life for the welfare of the many, for the happiness of the many. That is what Chandrasekhar Azad did. That is what Bhagat Singh did. That is what Subhash Chandra Bose did. And that is what Vivekananda is giving as a compliment to all of you. Can you sacrifice your life? Do not bother what your father or mother is doing. They may be corrected. Don't care for them. But you can tell, I am the Bharata Putra. I am the son of this wonderful land, Bharata Varsha. I will sacrifice my life. So sacrifice has been the law in the past. Sacrifice, alas, will be the law in the future for ages to come. The earth's boldest and the bravest must sacrifice their everything for the welfare of many, for the happiness of many. Vivekananda sacrificed. He was one of the most richest men in Calcutta. His father died. Instantly he landed in dire poverty. The poverty was so crushing, Vivekananda told, wearing chappal became a luxury for me. It's a real life story. The whole family is struggling. The magnificent personality who could capture the whole world by his powerful oratory he was in this tussle, whether my house or my country. And he told, sacrifice has been the law in the past. Alas, it will be the law for the ages to come. I shall sacrifice my life. Like my house, millions and millions of Indians are sinking in poverty. Who cares for them? Everybody wants to become a leader, is it not? Neta, neta, neta. But who is really wanting to serve our country? Everybody wants to enjoy, but who is willing to sacrifice? This is a great sacrifice Swamiji did. And there's a lovely story in the life of Sri Ramakrishna that during one of his deep meditations, Sri Ramakrishna's mind went very high and high into the ethereal realms, and then he saw 7 great sages who are meditating. That is the Saptarishi Mandala we are seeing in the Akasha. And the divinity, the God, took form of a small child, entered into the lap of one of the sages, the rishis, who was in deep meditation and told, I am going down to the earth for the welfare of the humanity. Will you please come? The sage who was in deep meditation could not open his eyes fully. With his eyes half opened, he gave a sign, yes, I will come. And the day Narendranath, Swami Vivekananda entered my house, Sri Ramakrishna says, I saw that same sage from Saptarishi Mandala has come down. So Swami Vivekananda, whether you believe in spirituality or not, this is a fact of history, whether you accept or not. You may not accept that the earth is round. Previously, Bible never accepted, is it not? It was Copernicus who discovered this theory that the earth is round. Previously, they used to believe that the earth was flat. And in fact, Copernicus was punished for telling this truth. But he told, whether the earth is flat or round, it doesn't depend on your belief. Whether the sun rises in the east or west, it doesn't depend on the belief of human being. It is the law of God as He created. And Copernicus was about to be hanged. The king called Copernicus and asked, have you told this daring statement as against our scripture that the earth is not flat but round? Copernicus smilingly told, I just made a statement and these people have picked up the news and brought it to you. Okay, earth is flat. And Copernicus was released. And when he came back, the friends ridiculed, laughed and teased him, and they told Copernicus, out of fear you told the king that the earth is not round. Copernicus patted the backs of the friends and he told, my dear friends, whether the earth is round or flat, as it is believed by the king, doesn't make any difference in the climatic changes. The earth is round, it will remain round. Accordingly, solar and lunar eclipse will take place. Why to bargain trouble with that king? So I came back accepting his words. But truth does not pay homage to any society. This is Vivekananda's second dialogue. Truth does not pay homage to any society. Society must pay homage to the truth or it will die, it will perish. If you don't pay homage to the truth, that keeping good health in the youth is the right thing to do, when you become old, truth will not pay homage, you will perish. That is what Mr. Sridharan told, maintaining health. So truth was what Swami Vivekananda was concerned with. And in one of his most striking remarks, he says, God and truth alone are my politics, the rest are mere trash. I don't believe in politics. God and truth alone are my politics, the rest are mere trash. So Swami Vivekananda came down to revive this India, whether you believe it or not, it is immaterial. He came, lighted the torch of freedom in 1897, and at that time he made this beautiful dialogue again. I will be going on telling different dialogues of Swami Vivekananda. Break down all your temples, throw away all your gods and goddesses. For next 50 years, let India be your temple and let Indians be your gods and goddesses. India will be free in 50 years. It was told in 1897, 1947, exactly 50 years after India was free. These are the prophetic words. Now you may accept him as a Saptarishi, one of the Saptarishis. You may not accept. And he told, before he became famous in the Parliament of Religion, that moment India becomes free, there is a great danger of China attacking India. And China attacked. In 1962, India woke up this year again. In 1947, we got freedom. We went to sleep. Arise, awake, Vivekananda told. Stop not till the goal is reached. India arose. It awoke. And as soon as they got power, they all went to sleep. After 1947, India slowly went to sleep. And this year, when our own citizens are finding it difficult to live, this is the truth. You see, when people are suppressed, when values are crushed, truth will never pay homage to society, ancient or modern. Society must pay homage to the truth. Otherwise, the people in power will be thrown out by the very people who voted them into the power. This has been happening in Iraq, Iran, Mesopotamia, Palestine. In every country, this is the history of the world. That if you don't pay homage to the truth, you will perish. So Swami Vivekananda told this truth, throw away all your gods and goddesses. What a marvelous remark from the mouth of a sannyasi, is it not? One who is a worshipper of God, telling that throw away all your gods and goddesses, break down all your temples. These things are very comfortable for the communistic way of thinking. That's why they have accepted Vivekananda in total. And Vivekananda told, let Indians be your gods and goddesses. Neglecting the masses has been one of the greatest reasons for India's fall. No religion in the world talks about the human nature in such a lofty strain as Indian religion does. In India, the religions call man a god. Manishyan Divyanam. No religion in the world treads on the necks of the masses in such a cruel fashion as Indian religion does. We don't bother about anybody in India, is it not? Today we found it so difficult to travel on the road from Haripad to Alleppey. And we are boasting about the information technology, this thing, that thing, and so many other things. The problem is we have no vision. As we have no vision, there is no mission. The only thing that is existing with us is confusion. Do you know what is the mission of this college and the vision of this college? You are from this college? Any student from this college? What is the vision of this college? What is the mission of this college? Anyway, you go to the principal's room and have a look at it. I took down in writing. The vision is to evolve into an academy of excellence to serve the emerging knowledge-based society. That is the vision of which you are totally blind, is it not? When you don't have a vision, you are called blind. Is it not? So, having eyes, we are blind. Kannunda Pakshe, Kachillado Rad. There's a famous joke in Akbar Birbal's story. One day Birbal told people are blind. Akbar told every one of them have got eyes. How can they be called blind? So Birbal told Rajan, I can show you that people are blind in spite of their having eyes. So a beautiful, wonderful feast was arranged, and in the pandal so many items were displayed, and they told anyone can go and take anything they want. It was a buffet system, and lots of crowd packed into that pandal. They were all clamoring to have the delicious thing they were prepared there. The most delicious items were presented, and all of them were making a great rush. And the whole bundle was encircled with a cloth. Birbal had arranged that as they will be about to eat, the whole bundle will be set fire. And as soon as the fire was set to the bundle, people started shouting, oh, fire, fire, fire. And in the haste and the worry and the confusion, all of them came back running, taking the sleepers. And by that time, they stepped out of the pandal 100 meters, Birbal so stopped. And when he checked, he found most of them were wearing one of their right slippers and another man's left slippers. In that blindness and hurry, scrambling for their life, some of them were not wearing their chappals. They have taken others' chappal and simply they were running. Birbal told, having eyes but yet blind. Why it is happening, you know? We are utterly selfish. Totally selfish. We can't think about others. What is happening to other man? Just spit it there. Go to the toilet in the AC first class, don't flush it and come back comfortably so that the other passenger will be very discomfortable. This is what is happening to us in India, is it not? Take a coffee in a disposable cup, throw it below the seat, as if there is no dustbin. And we are boasting we are educated. If we cannot do these small petty things, how are you expecting to do bigger things? There is another wonderful message of Swami Vivekananda, which he tells in his Karma Yoga. If you stand near the seashore and hear the waves dashing against the shingles, you feel it as a great noise. But every one of you know that the noise made by the big wave is constituted of millions and millions of small wavelets. Every small wave is making the noise, but only when they become the aggregate, you hear the noise. Similarly, every action of us goes to make our destiny. It is only when they become aggregate and burst upon the society we see a Buddha or a Christ coming into existence. Buddhas and Christ were not evolved overnight. Life after life, they had built their whole life with that personality development program. Every work that you should do should be done with great sincerity, great confidence, great application and great concentration. If we cannot do small act, the same act of negligence will come when you are reading chemistry, when you are constructing a bridge. In olden days, you look at the marvelous temples of Tanjavur, Meenakshi temple of Madurai, Belur Hadegade, Taj Mahal. These same Indians whose blood is flowing in our veins, they build. Now we can't build an ordinary building. You look at the window sill, it is not at all polished properly, it is not having a proper level. You can see with this naked eye. We can't build this. Vivekananda says, fools, you can't manufacture the head of a pin and you want freedom. For small program, we can't organize properly, we can't come together properly, we cannot think properly, we can't keep the auditorium clean. You see so much of cobwebs. Not one of you among us there to sacrifice and clean the cobwebs. If we cannot feel this college is yours, how are you going to claim that this is my motherland? It will not be even your father-in-law's land. So much of dust. Why we have become so small and beggarly inside the heart? Students, to some extent it is a fault of the elders. Because they have not taught you, they have not shown you the ideal. Therefore, government has been compelled and forced to tell that youngsters do not look at us. We are not at all your ideals. On the contrary, we are contradictory ideals in front of you. Therefore, the one man our motherland has produced, Swami Vivekananda, he is the ideal. Kindly look at him. Don't curse us elders, we are total failure. That is why among the first 200 institutions, not one Indian college is getting a name. Is it not? Why? So many colleges we have got, but not one in the first 200 colleges of the world released. Why? Mera Bharat Mahan. Incredible India. What is incredible India? Except in spitting here and there. We can spit everywhere, is it not? And drink nicely.